Yep. People come from all over to see me. My name is unanimous all over the United States, and people come from as far as Australia and far north as Iceland to see me. Somehow I became very popular name around. I met the Queen twice. I made a necklace for her, Queen Elizabeth. And I met Margaret Thatcher twice. And I met Dr. King, as we say, Adam Clayton Powell, who was a congressman out of New York, was living down here for 7 years. Adam Clayton Powell, very educated man. He came from the Church of Abyssinia Baptist Church in New York, one of the big ones, big black churches. And he was living down here for 7 years. And he couldn't go back to United States except for Saturdays and Sundays to keep church, because a woman was running against him for Congress, and he called her a bag woman. And she sued him for many thousands of dollars, and he told the judge, I'm not getting paid because she is a bag woman. So he only could go back on Saturdays and Sundays. So Dr. King needed a civil rights bill passed, and he couldn't get it passed. Adam Clayton Powell was the most powerful man in passing bills. He never lost a bill in Congress. So when King came down to see him, he said, Adam, you're the most powerful black man in the United States. I need for you to go back to help me with the struggle. Powell's know he couldn't go back because what he was charged, he did not pay. He told the judge he's not going to pay it. So he only could go back on Saturdays and Sundays to keep church. So when he said when Martin said to him, Adam, you're the most powerful black man, he said, Martin, you started right. I am the most powerful black man in the United States, and don't you ever forget it. I passed more bill in Congress than any man, 66 pieces of bedrock legislature, never lost a bill in Congress, had soup lines in Harlem. I paid my dues, and Dr. King had a way of speaking to you, would rip your heart in two if you didn't say it right, or if you didn't look at it right. So when he said, I paid my dues, Dr. King looked at him and said, Adam, you never finish paying your dues. You never finish paying your dues. And the way he said it, big, powerful man as Adam Clayton Powell was, brought tears to his eyes. That's the power Dr. King had in his voice. And when he came here to write the Nobel Prize acceptance speech, you have to have a speech, acceptance speech, before you go to Oslo to receive the prize. And Adam introduced Dr. King to me, for me to be able to carry him someplace real tranquil in the boat, which was at that time the Bonefish Creek. Is a creek that goes up through there, through Bimini, that nobody hardly traveled in them days. So I took that spot where he could just rest and write. And when we reached there, some birds was overhead, the tide trickling by, snappers running under the mango roots, a stingray was burying and reburying. And Dr. King looked up and he said, there's so much life here, so much life all around us. How could people see all this life and yet not believe in the existence of God, he said. So much life all around us. He said, Ansil, what you do when you have people in the boat and see all this life and not believe in God, what you say to them? So I said I wrote a psalm, P-S-A-L-M, that poses some serious questions, and I leave him to ponder those questions. He said he'd like to hear it. I said, Dr. King, people want to hear you speak. You know that. You're the spokesman. He said, I'm tired of listening to myself. I want to hear somebody else sometimes. That's exactly how his voice was. So I said I wrote this psalm and I call it the 154th psalm, but I didn't know about the Dead Sea Scrolls at the time, which they found and go up to much more than 150. So I just called my own the creation psalm. And it tells you about God's creation, his handwork. And he said he'd like to hear it. So I'll say a little piece for you so it's secret what it sounds like. And it goes, just look around you and see God in everything. His name of love is written on every tiny raindrop. His name of wonder crowns the mountain peak and swirls across the seas. For who else but God? I am that I am. Who else but God in his infinite wisdom could stretch rivers like silver ribbons across the continents, or lay green blankets of grass across the rolling hills, or fill the darkest recess of the oceans with life? Millions and billions and trillions of life. Only God could conceive the enormous sundowns that walled the horizon in awesome majesty. Only God could create the morning sunrise that burst the horizon in a blaze of glory. Some mornings that gray and gold sunrise is so beautiful that one cannot tell where the heaven ends and the earth begins. Only God could create a moon which represents equality because it equalizes the waters of the earth. Only God can pierce the skies with stars. Millions and billions and trillions of stars. Stars that have the beauty of a blue sapphire, but sparkles with the radiance of a flawless diamond, that we might look into his heavens. And this world God has made is a holy place. The world God has made is a holy place. It is his own cathedral, filled with birds singing anthems of praise, graced with the rituals of the changing seasons. It's a place of reverence where man can worship freely under the blue dome of the skies and join the host of living things that reach for God. Every living thing reaches for God. The smallest green grass that God can have grow, the tallest redwood, they're all reaching for God. God's world is so full of wisdom and knowledge. We could find sermons in stones. Sermons in stones. There are pathways that leads away from self, but close to the heart of God. Close to the heart of God. The wild beast can teach us nobility and courage. Cut that for a moment.